So now we take a look at what happens to a function when we're approaching a vertical asymptote. Okay, so we've already done previously the integral from 1 to infinity. Right? So we know actually from 1 onward to infinity of 1 over x squared, we actually would work that out and get an answer. But what if we're approaching a vertical asymptote now? In other words, 1 over x squared is undefined at 0 because of the vertical asymptote. Well, we can actually still approach this as a limit as well. Now, this time we're not worried about what's happening on the other side of 1 over x squared. All right, so we're not worried about what's going on the other side of 1 over x squared, just what's happening on the side as we approach the asymptote only, because we just want to know between 0 and 1. So we can actually write this down as the limit as b approaches 0 from above, just the right-hand limit of the integral from b to 1 of x to the minus second dx. Okay, and so now we're ready to do this problem. So let's start to work this out. Limit as b goes to 0. So we do the antiderivative, which should be x to the minus 1, divide by minus 1, so minus 1 over x. Evaluate it between b and 1. And so this will be the limit as b approaches 0 from above, again on positive values, of negative 1, so plug 1 in, negative 1, minus a negative 1 over b, so plus 1 over b. But if we let b become 0, 1 over b is going to approach infinity. And so therefore, the whole thing is going to approach infinity. And so therefore, this integral diverges. This integral diverges. Okay. Okay. So that's just one example. In this case, the integral actually ends up diverging. Whereas on the other hand, when we went to infinity, 1 over x squared, as we saw, actually converged. But in this case, what was happening is the graph was getting close to the x-axis quick enough that there wasn't enough space to allow stuff to grow infinitely. But in this case, what's happening is it's staying too far away from the asymptote, and it's allowing enough space for stuff to kind of creep in there, so that you actually end up getting these infinite rectangles that eventually add up to infinity. So it just depends on the function that you're dealing with, whether you're going to have space one way or space another way, or maybe space neither way, okay, for it to be able to work out.